What? 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 I don't know. What's your problem? It's just a normal show. Hello everybody and welcome to United Stand for your latest Manchester United transfer news as Richard Arnold and John Murtough fly into Barcelona to conclude a deal for Frenkie de Jong. We'll also be talking about as being linked to a Polish striker. They call him the Polish Peter Crouch. We'll be talking about that and a lot more on what has been a busy day for Manchester United on tour, and has also been a busy day tomorrow with the watch along. But the big breaking news here, the big breaking news here is that John Murtough and Richard Arnold are in Barcelona as we look to finalise this Frenkie de Jong deal. And look, you know, I've remained 90% sure that we would get this deal done. Some people don't want to be like that. Some people want to be ultra negative. But I always felt that this would be the way that Manchester United went, and especially the Frenkie de Jong deal went. And it's very much looking like it will happen now, because as David Ornstein and many other people have reported, Manchester United have sent a delegation to Barcelona to hold face-to-face talks regarding the signing of Frenkie de Jong. Now, John Murtough has got the wrong clothes on. If you've seen the footage, he looks very, very hot. But it's very hot in England at the moment, John, so you could have wore shorts anyway. But imagine I'm going to give you my opinion now. We've seen the video footage. John Murtough and Richard Arnold, the CEO and the director of football, are both in Barcelona. Now, Richard Arnold said, I'm not getting involved in football stuff. You could be critical and say, here we go again, swooping in for a bit of credit, ego before actually what's best for the club. Why is Richard Arnold flying over to Barcelona to finalise the signing of the summer when he said he was going to keep himself out of football stuff? Is he doing it for the glamour and the reward? Because at the end of the day, we also... Nice shirt, Mark, says the big P. Oh, I just threw this on. I've had this for ages. But I you know, ultimately I just want Frenkie de Jong to sign for Manchester United. But I do also think that we are a club that is riddled with board members, directors of football, coaches, players that just want positivity around them. They want to be loved and they want to be liked. So maybe Richard Arnold's flown out to Barcelona so that when this deal happens, it can be, I flew out to Barcelona to finalise it, which is a very big Ed Woodward move. It's the sort of thing Ed Woodward used to do. And Richard Arnold had said he was going to be different to that. But in fairness, look, maybe Richard Arnold's flying out there because it needs sanctioning in relation to the fee. I don't know. I don't know why he would be involved. Murtough certainly makes sense. But the reason I've never swayed from 90% sure that we would get Frenkie de Jong for a long, long time now. And the stuff over the weekend didn't make me feel any less confident. But imagine... I think it would be ultra embarrassing for Manchester United to miss out on de Jong anyway. Imagine how embarrassing it would be if we flew Murtough and Arnold over to Barcelona and we didn't get him. I mean, that footage of them being in Barcelona would just turn into a meme, wouldn't it? You know, you can imagine it, wouldn't it? How many Manchester United senior board members does it take to mess up a transfer with them, in sunny Barcelona? So very, very confident that we'll get this deal done now. And hopefully it'll happen very, very quickly. We had Fabrizio Romano on the show this afternoon. Very good video to watch back because we covered all different transfers. But he did say that a lot of this now is to do with Manchester United. Not to do with Manchester United, really. It's to do with this point here, which Paul Hurst has said. Frenkie de Jong is owed money and wages deferred during the pandemic and wants to receive them before discussing terms of Manchester United. He is interested in talking to Manchester United. And I feel that... that's probably the biggest update of the evening, really. It's probably the biggest update of the evening because that's the story that I've always believed to be the truth. That's the story I've always been told, is that the reason this deal's being held up is because Frenkie de Jong is owed money that were deferred from the pandemic. He's literally owed money. And it's like leaving a job. If you're owed money, you're going to... some people might leave it and go, I just want a fresh start. But remember, Frenkie de Jong doesn't really want to leave Barcelona. So it's not like Greg Elder, welcome to the Members Club. Maybe if you're playing for Bournemouth and you're heading to Liverpool and Bournemouth owe you a bit of money, you might just go, look, my dream move is to go to Liverpool. Forget the money, I just want to go. But in Frenkie de Jong's situation, he knows Barcelona want to sell him. He'd ideally like to stay. So he's going, I don't want to go and you owe me money. I can understand this. I don't want to go. I'm doing you a favour going, and you want me to go against my will, and you don't want me to get the money you owe me. Dream on. I'll go if you give me the money. And that's basically what's been holding this up for a little while now. I'm going to say something opinionated. Is Ronaldo leaving for football reasons, or is it due to reports of personal reasons, says Ray? Well, Ray, he's not training because of personal reasons. That's not the reason he's looking to leave. He wants to leave because of the lack of ambition from the club. Which is why going and getting Frankie de Jong might show a bit of ambition. Did Wes Brown's brother arrive at United to help with signings, says Darren Mullaney? No, it was Michael Keane's brother, who is a solicitor, not Wes Brown. You're halfway there. It was an ex-Manchester United centre-back. Klaus says, hi Mark, surely before they knew Frankie de Jong was available in April, they had another plan list. Why not put pressure on Barca that way? It's too long, says Klaus. And can you wish Freya happy birthday, says John. Freya, happy birthday. I can't read the first bit, but happy birthday to Freya. So look, it's looking very good. And look, Manchester United have always made it very, very clear that Frankie de Jong is their priority. And it's interesting that Samuel Luckhurst has also said the agent of Frankie de Jong, Ali Dursun, was at Carrington last week over the signing of Tyrell Malacia, but Frankie de Jong was discussed with Manchester United then. And also, again, Samuel Luckhurst saying Richard Arnold and John Murtough are in Barcelona in an attempt to finalise the signing of Frankie de Jong. So, look, that's where we're at with Frankie de Jong. And I did say on social media, on Twitter earlier, I'm not massively excited about this. It's not like I'm going to put a T-shirt on saying Frankie's coming to Manchester or anything like that. I'm not that excited about it. Mainly because for the last 2 months, all we've ever heard is closer than close. It's getting close. It's so hot. You're getting closer. It's like this game I used to play with Seb. Like, in the living room. I'd say go out the living room, or he'd say go out the living room, and you'd hide one of his, little figures like Bob the Builder or something. And then he'd have to find it if hidden in the room. And when he was getting closer, you'd go warmer, warmer, boiling hot, and then he'd find it. And the same for me. This is a little bit like Frankie de Jong. Barcelona have hidden Frankie de Jong in the living room, and Manchester United are going hot. You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. Boiling hot. You're boiling hot. And John Murtough's going, I know. I wish I'd wore a pair of shorts and a T-shirt. I've worn my winter suit. I'm boiling up here. But we are going. I'm 90% sure we're going to get this deal. I'm not negative about the deal. I'm not going to get excited about, this deal's hot. It's really hot. Because we've had 2 months of this. We've had bloody Gerard Romero back in the start of May saying 95% sure it'll happen by the end of May. We're now nearly in the middle of July. So look, I'm not expecting this deal to happen quickly. It could be another month or two. It might, I think we'll get it done. But I'm just going to be not excited and go, when he is deal done, I'm going to go whoop woo, and I'll probably get a T-shirt printed saying Frankie goes to Manchester. But until then, I'm sort of like, we've been here for 2 months. I'm still ultra confident that it will happen. I'm still 90% sure, but I'm not going to get ultra excited about it being imminent or in the next 48 hours like some people will. Have you had a few gins, Mark? Seem in a good mood this evening, says Joshua. Just got lots to talk about, I always get in a buzz when we're on tour. I like the tour. I like the pre-season games. I've got to be honest, it's got nothing against Thailand and Australia, but I like the American tour best. Because, you get the 3 o'clock in the morning kickoffs, which just make it feel even more exciting. But apart from that, I like the tour, pre-season games. I'm really excited to see United play tomorrow. I don't care what team he picks. I'm just interested to see the defensive line, how the goalkeeper operates as a sweeper, how much possession we have, how confident we are on the ball. I'm expecting, I know it's only pre-season, but I'm expecting to see a big, big change. So I'm looking forward to it. Mark, you said you'd unblock me on Twitter, tweeted you about Martinez deal the other day. I told you mine. It's at MUFC James, bro. Okay, I will copy it and then I will do it for you, mate. Don't worry about that, James. And England's women's team is playing way better than Man United men's team, says Nitin. It's 12:40 a.m. in India. Was up to see the outfit. Was worth it. Also, isn't RB more important to buy than left back? An opinion on Paredes. Sheikh, you need to watch the video with Fabrizio. Apparently, the Paredes story may just be paper talk. He's been offered all around Europe. And I do agree with you. I think right back is more important than left back because Luke Shaw's our best fullback. But I don't rate Tellers and I don't rate Brandon Williams. So Malacia coming in is good, but we definitely do need a right back. Was Gary having a go at Ten Hag and fans who supported him over Poch with his tweet? He knows these decisions can turn those fans against Ten Hag, says Savesh. Is it me, or are they a bit underdressed for a pair of execs looking like a couple of pickpockets waiting to snatch a handbag, says 10 Star. Ten Hag's comments on Maguire shows that he's been manipulated and has no power, but more spotlight the better to expose the fraud and get him out, says Silu. And welcome to the Members Club, Glenn Goldbridge. We'll come back to the Maguire thing, and we'll come back to the Neville comments in a little bit, because I do want to talk about that a little bit later, but we've got some other stuff to talk about first. Ta-da, it's Frankie, says Rui, and let's get excited when we see the player holding up the shirt, says Tracy. Yeah, look, I mean, ultimately, opinions on Daniel Steed from Northern Ireland, says Luke Goldwater. I think in relation to United at the moment, we don't know when Eriksen's happening, Martinez is happening, Anthony's happening, De Jong is happening, so I'm sort of like, I've had the excitement sucked out of me on transfers, because, you know, it really is the great unknown. We should have had these deals done by now, so I think they will get done, but when they will get done, that's when I'll get excited. Until then, I'm not playing the guessing game, and I'm not going to, you know, depend or predict or get excited, because I think United have got a great way of you know, making things drag on. Mark, surely Frankie went to Hollywood, not Manchester. Relax, mate. If you know, you know, says Andy and Bruno. And you missed my super chat. Was asking if anyone from United Stand managed to get their questions to Ten Hag. A few others did and spoke about Martial, says Arjun. I think we will do on the next one. That's what I understand. Chris Lennox, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Thank you very much for that. Malacia debut tomorrow. Yeah, apparently Maguire, Varane, and Twansebi and McTominay won't be playing tomorrow. I think they're all carrying knocks and strains, so that may well be the case there. Just on from Frankie de Jong, a bit of a story to bring you here as well. This is coming in from Pletty Goal, who's a good German journalist, saying that Stuttgart striker Sasa Kalajdzic is a candidate for Manchester United. There have been talks, but no personal meetings so far. United are very interested in him. Now, if you don't know who Kalajdzic is, we actually have been linked to him already this summer. He's a 6'7" Austrian striker. I think he's 25. Plays for Stuttgart. Interestingly, I was reading a little bit about him a few weeks ago, and he used to be a CDM and modelled himself on Matic. He's now a centre forward. People get lazy and call him the Austrian Peter Crouch. He's a very distinctive striker. He's got 1 year left on his deal. I don't know what I think about this, really. I think it's quite interesting, you know, because he's a very different profile striker to what we've got. If you think about Martial, he's good with the ball to his feet. He can hold, play with his back to goal. He's mobile. He's quick passes and move. But I suppose this might be a hint, if it's true. It might be a hint that Erik Ten Hag wants a different profile of striker, to deal with balls into the box if he wants to put crosses in, etc. The only thing I would say is that we were linked to him before, and I can't remember how long ago it was before, but being Austrian, playing in the German league, having 1 year left on his contract, it really reminds me of a Rangnick recommendation. So I'm sort of thinking, is this a player and his agent trying to get a move using Manchester United? Because it does really remind me of a sort of deal that Ralf Rangnick would have wanted us to do. Austrian striker, plays in the Bundesliga, 1 year left on his contract. So, look, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But it is a story that's sort of coming out tonight. Will City go for Lisandro Martinez after selling Aki, says Eugene. Hey, that's a good point. Oh, I've not heard anything about that. Wouldn't we need a Sir Alex on steroids in order to recreate anything like what he did under the old owners, says Dylan. And will you have any input in the next press in terms of questions you have in mind for Ten Hag that could be asked? This could be a great opportunity. Arjun, I know exactly what question we'll ask if we get opportunity to do it at the next one. The same one we would have asked today, and it's a good one. But, you know what? I did watch the training today. Obviously, Adam and Ryan were there, and they've sent me loads of footage, and I was watching a stream anyway, which God knows where it was from, but I couldn't understand the writing. But it was a live stream of the training. I watched it, and you know what? The front three was mainly Sancho off the right, with Rashford on the left, and Martial through the middle. Bruno in behind, and then I think it was Fred and Van der Beek, because obviously McTominay's not fit. So it's interesting. I mean, the positive of that is that I think Martial, Sancho and Rashford, 2 years ago, when we tried to get Sancho, you'd have said that's the dream. Whether they can re-establish that, I don't know. I think that we're very light up front. I don't think you can deny that we're very, very light up front. I mean, if Martial gets injured or Rashford gets injured or Sancho gets injured, it's basically Elanga to replace all three, with Ronaldo being a bit of an uncertainty at the moment. So I do think it's quite interesting in relation to how we may well line up. But I think we need to bring a striker in, and that goes back to that Kalajdzic lad. Maybe I think we need to bring two in. I think Anthony definitely needs to come in. I hate to say this, but with Maguire as captain, Ten Hag won't survive more than 2 to 3 years. It's about the man management, says Shahin. We're going to talk about that in a bit. I've been reading about all this Dybala talk, and it excites me because he can play in anywhere within the forwards, says ATD, but it is just talk. He's just being offered out. He's not a player that United are seriously pursuing at the moment. If United stand get opportunity to ask Ten Hag a question, is there a possibility we can ask him what's his definition of success, says Savish. I think that's a good question. I'm surprised it's not been asked yet, but might be a little bit early in pre-season to ask that. So he could easily duck that. He could easily say, I need a bit more time with the players. Not sure if I'm naive, but I'm still optimistic this summer. The club know they're on trial. They must deliver, says Jordan. Jordan, I think you're right. I think they will deliver. It's just whether they've delivered on time. Do you think if Barca sort out the payout, Jong could actually stay or still come to us? Would you be worried if an agreement is agreed between them, says Ray? I think that the fact that United have got Murtough and Arnold in Barcelona suggests that this deal is going to happen and very, very soon, because that would be embarrassing. They've been filmed in Barcelona. If they don't get that deal done, they'll basically be dumb and dumber. They'll be absolutely ripped apart if they don't get that deal done. I was always confident. I'm ultra confident now, because you can't put yourselves in a position where you're filmed in Barcelona and you don't get the deal done. I'm looking forward to see how Martial might transform under Erik Ten Hag. He will either carry on being a lazy striker or finally come out of his shell, says Slow Sports News. There's a really good podcast by Tree Geordie discussing about how United could end up being the next Aston Villa or even Everton. Opinion, says Arjun. I respect Brian, but I think he's probably just being a bit sensationalist there. What is the next Aston Villa or Everton? What is the next Aston Villa or Everton? Aston Villa and Everton haven't won the title in my lifetime. So what's the next Aston Villa or Everton? Like a big team that... Villa were relegated not that long ago. Everton nearly got relegated. How can we be the next Aston Villa or Everton? I get the fact that Manchester United is a very easy topic to be sensationalist about. We run the United stand. I know what it's like, but... I would never sit here and do a video saying we're going to be the next Aston Villa or Everton, where we're a big club that's fighting with relegation in recent years. I always think that's a massive load of bullshit. Arsenal won't get relegated. Spurs won't get relegated. Manchester United aren't going to be in a relegation battle. We would, you know why though? Because we were terrible last season. Absolutely terrible. And we still finished 6th. We didn't even get 60 points. We got smacked up by however many teams, and we still nearly got 60 points. Do you realise how crap we would have to be to get even in the bottom half? And last season, we were majorly crap. So we're never going to be a team that's in the bottom of the half fighting for the relegation. I'm sorry. That's just sensationalist crap trap. I think the worst you can do is what Arsenal did 2 years, which is finishing 8th, which is... 6th is terrible. 8th is terrible, but... any lower than that, I just don't think it's realistic. We can be badly managed, but we're still 75,000 fans. We'll still throw money at things. Mark, are we getting a new goalkeeper from Lazio? No, Jamie, he's gone to Brentford. It's honestly such a Glazer window so far. We need a complete rebuild, at least 4 players, but spend all our time on a shirt seller. Never changes, says user. Shuvam says, Mark, it's funny how the media are bashing Ronaldo has been our best player last season, while Rashford and Maguire, who have been awful and down tools, gets protection from the media. It's normal, Shuv. Who do you think will replace Rashford, Martial and Sancho at half-time, says Darren? Well, it's going to have to be some of the younger players. Elanga, Mabry, people like that. Success next season is finishing in the Champions League and winning the Europa. I agree, the big P. And even if Murtough and Arnold are in Barcelona, never underestimate the capacity for incompetence with this club, says Stephen. Well, look, I've seen a few people talking about Anthony Martial, and I just want to give a big, massive shout-out to... Adam and Ryan, who've been out in Thailand. Look, I'm biased, but what I'm about to put on the screen for you here, this picture for me is the picture of the tour so far, and it was taken by Ryan, our camera guy and social media guy. And I saw that this morning, and I just think absolutely fantastic. Ten Hag in talks with Martial leaving the team hotel this morning, and I think you don't even need those words. If a picture could paint 1,000 words. I just think this is so symbolic of our season. It's not even about Martial and Ten Hag. I really do think that picture encapsulates where we are at the moment. There is a player with our new manager has got his arm round his shoulder, and there is a player that over half of our fan base a couple of weeks ago would have said, sell, moody, had his chance, get him out of our club, don't want him here anymore. And it symbolises where we are as a football club now, where we're almost desperate, but then we've got this new manager who wants to give everybody a new chance. Now, whether that's right or wrong, Ten Hag wants to give everyone a new chance. He wants to give Maguire the captaincy still. He wants to give Martial a go up front. He wants to give Rashford a go on the wing. He likes McTominay and Fred. There's not a lot of change from last season because the man on the left, Eric Ten Hag, it's his Man United and he wants to give everyone a chance. And then the guy on the right, whether he deserves a second chance or not, that picture is what we are at the moment. That is Man United. I loved it because, I want Martial to do well, but I think that picture is so powerful now because it symbolises what we are at the moment. We haven't got any new signings at the moment, and we're having to use players that have been good in the past, but recent past have been bad. We've got to put that arm around their shoulder, try and refocus them and make them be part of the new United. When many people probably thought they would be part of the old United, they're now part of the new United. And I think it's a really fantastic picture. I don't know what you think. But yeah, I saw that this morning on our social media. I thought I'm going to play that on the channel a little bit later because it's absolutely fantastic. I've got another one for you as well. It's a bit of a piss take, but I'll show you in a minute. Jong leaving Barcelona will be like putting Hannibal Lecter, says Johnny from Donny, on a plane. Okay. I'm telling you now, Mark, Ten Hag loves Tony, says Kevin. Yeah, well, Ricky will be very happy about that. And Martial's last chance to prove he's good, says Amar. I don't believe in last chances at this football club anymore. I think everyone gets loads of chances. And Sarvish says, if Ten Hag has same response for definition of success, then how is Maguire captain? He neither achieved top four, nor won the Europa League, says Servash. Yeah, look, let me just play this for you just for a bit of a laugh. I don't think United have done this on their socials yet, so we thought we'd do it on the United stand. If you know, you know. Winning team. I couldn't find it before I went live on United's Twitter or Instagram. So, look, credit to the admin. I think he's done it for a bit of a laugh. He knows how I can't stand winning team photos, but that they've obviously posed for somebody, so then that must be going somewhere on United's socials, but it's definitely on ours anyway. So, winning team, there you go. If you love that, we've got one for you. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Yeah. Look, as I say, I'm in a bit of a jovial mood. I'm feeling quite excited about the match tomorrow. Look, I completely understand people's frustration around transfers. I know where we are with that, but I'm looking forward to the match tomorrow. The sun's shining, and it'd be nice to have a watch along tomorrow. Eric Ten Hag is a proper coach who will get the best out of the players. He will create an environment for the current crop to flourish, says Shane. You know what, Shane? I'm absolutely sure that you're right, that we will develop players and some players will be better than last year. But do you not subscribe to the view that it's impossible to get that many bad players playing well? Like, he would be better than Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp in my mind. If he can get that United team playing well week in, week out, he's a miracle worker. Because I'll tell you what, and I'm not going to name any names because it's not really the time, there's players in that team who I would have kicked out this summer. If I was in charge, I'd have kicked him out, or I wouldn't have took the job. If United had said to me, you can have the job, but you're not kicking those players out, I'd have said, I'm not taking the job. There's a job in Germany for me, I'll take that. I'm not taking the job. I want to sell him, and him. I don't care how much you paid for them, I want them out. The fact that Ten Hag hasn't done that, and he's still going to try and turn them around, I think he's going to have to be... I'd build a statue. I'd build a statue for Ten Hag in 2 years if he's got this team winning trophies, because without signing many players, I really don't think some of those players can be turned around. So I'm really excited to see whether he can do it. I'm glad we have Ten Hag, says Myron, but we cannot be shocked about this, especially with the Glazers accepting him. Hopefully it works out, says Myron. Well, I just want to hit on something here, because I know a lot of people are still really confused and not happy about the appointment of Harry Maguire as captain. And I went live straight after he'd said that Harry Maguire is going to be the captain, that he's he said something like he's an experienced captain, or he's an established captain who's had great success. both of which are false. He's not an established captain. I don't think he was Leicester's captain. He's not England's captain. He was only made captain by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's never been a good captain, so he's not an established captain. And he's never had any success in his career. I mean, losing Europa League final and a Euros final, I think that's the pinnacle of his career. So neither of those things are true. But when I listen to it again about the captaincy, I'm not actually as bothered as I was before, because it just doesn't, to me, it comes across as, and some of you said this morning as well, the Harry Maguire comment about him being captain, it just comes across as, let's not rock the boat. Like, let's not upset the dressing room. Let's not upset a senior player. You know, taking the captaincy off Harry Maguire, he won't relinquish it, by the way. That's been known for a long time. Harry Maguire didn't ring up anybody and say, you know what, I don't want to be captain anymore because I think I need to focus on my game. He's adamantly said, I want to stay captain. You'll have to wrestle it off me. Now, some people might admire that. I personally think it's selfish because he needs to focus on his own playing ability and give over the captaincy. But he was never going to give that captaincy up. So to take it off him, you're going to make him unhappy. And I think what United and Ten Hag, with discussion with the players as well, has decided is it's a battle not worth fighting at the moment. It's like, keep him as captain. I've got enough things to worry about. I've got to get this team playing well. I've got to get signings in. Do I need to be adding issues to my plate by taking the captaincy off him? And when you listen to him back, it's not a strong backing of Maguire. He says, look, I've got to get to know my players. And when he says he's an established captain who's had great success, that just sounds like a scripted response. That sounds to me like that, you know, United's press officer has said to him, they will ask you about why he's the captain, so just come up with something like he is the captain and he's been a decent captain, which is not the truth, is it? So I don't really care about it as much as I did, because I just think it's a bit of a, I don't think he should have done it, but I just think it's about, he's got bigger things on his plate. Surely Barca would be legally obliged to pay Jong monies owed even if they came to us. Don't understand why they can argue, says Jason. But, well, yeah, there might be a legal case, but it's about establishing that legal case, I suppose, isn't it? But you know what? I spoke this morning about this, and the interesting thing, what I really want to talk about just for a minute or two is that, and I do find this sort of thing really, really frustrating, is that I had people messaging me today saying, because I tweeted out that I disagreed with Ten Hag picking Harry Maguire as captain, that I was Ten Hag out, and effectively you can't say you back the manager and then not back his decision on the captaincy. And then I had other people saying, way to go, backing your players, you negative shit, and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, look, well done for having an opinion. Do you want a cap or a t-shirt? But like, I don't deal in absolutes. Like, I don't really get that. So the first point I would say is the way to maintain peace is to manage the situation the way City and Chelsea managed Fernandinho and Azpilicueta, who are hardly first choices, is praised. Yeah, you know, just put Maguire on the bench. That might be a way around it. But I think he will play a lot of games. But to those people who say, how can you say you back Ten Hag, but then you don't agree with him giving Maguire the captaincy? But do you live your life like that then? Do you like back something and then just do everything it says? So put your hand in the fire. Okay. Jump off that cliff. Okay. Like, the best managers I've ever had, and I've done lots of different jobs in my life, the best managers I've ever had are the ones that I could challenge. And then when I challenge them, they put me in my place and say, look, you know, I've noted what you've said, but I'm in charge. We're going to do this. Sometimes they change their mind and agree I was right, but that's what life's all about. It's not about, like, if you're married, yeah, and tonight's lasagna night, and you sat there in front of the match, and the wife's cooked the lasagna, it's her turn to cook or whatever, and she brings out a plate of lasagna, and you cut into the middle of it, and it's cold. Do you eat it and go, it's worth the food poisoning, through thicker or thinner, you know, she's my wife, and I don't want to criticise the fact that this is not cooked in the middle, and I'm probably going to get food poisoning? Or do you say, I can't eat that, it's not cooked properly? Oh, let's get a divorce then. You're either on my side or you're not. Like, it's the stupidity of some people. Like, there genuinely are some sheep out there. Like, they think backing a manager is backing every decision they make. I wanted Ten Hag, like many of you, and you'll know from the videos we were doing back in February, I wanted Ten Hag before it was hip. I wanted Ten Hag when not a lot of people did. You know, I really want this manager. I'm really behind him. I'm really excited about it. But there will be things he does that I don't agree with. It doesn't mean I'm going to go Ten Hag out. And the hilarious thing is, and many people in the chat will back me up on this, many of you were Mourinho out 6 months before I was, and I stuck by him and I got a lot of stick. Many of you were Solskjaer out before I was, and I got a lot of stick. You were right to be out, Mourinho and Solskjaer out early. I was wrong. But I always try and give a manager as long as possible before it's absolutely impossible. And, you know, with Mourinho, I think it was after West Ham. With Solskjaer, it was some point at the start of last season. So, I'm behind Ten Hag. I want Ten Hag to succeed. But I'm not going to back every decision he makes because that's not being a responsible fan. My priority is Manchester United and the standards that we must uphold. Like, he will make decisions and I will disagree with him. You're not Ten Hag because you're not Ten Hag out or anti-Ten Hag because he makes Maguire captain. It's just a disagreement. Maguire's stubbornness is so grotesque. Eric Ten Hag really seemed like not wanting to start with the wrong foot and even mentioned that the players picked it, says Mario. Any news on Ekitike? Some momentum earlier this summer and still hoping to go back in for him, says Ben. Well, we did hold talks with Ekitike. I thought he was going to go to Newcastle. He's not gone anywhere yet. So I quite like the look of him. I'd rather we went for him than the Stuttgart lad or Brobby. But I think they wanted quite a lot of money from Newcastle. So maybe Arnold gone out to show De Jong how much the club want him. Contrast to Barca. It can't be Eric, not publicly, but actually get the job done, says Jack. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say there. I was going to say something else. Why chase after a player who doesn't want to come to United, says Foldy. Please smash a like on the video, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. But yeah, you know, there's absolutely no issue with questioning appointments and managers. And I think ultimately people just have a very individualistic opinion on how things should work. And I think we're all hypocrites, but like, I want Eric Ten Hag to do well. I'm so excited to see how we're going to play tomorrow. And I'm not going to put up with this time. I'm not going to put up with these bloody knobs who tell you that you're Ten Hag out because you don't agree with who the captain's going to be. I mean, I've never heard such childish bullshit in all my life. So to back Ten Hag, we've basically just got to agree with everything he does. I don't agree with the Maguire being the captain. Absolutely not. But Ten Hag's made that choice. We've got to get on with it. It doesn't in any way make me doubt him as the managerial choice. He's not even kicked a ball as a manager yet. So, yeah, look, I'm behind Ten Hag 100% as the manager of this football club. But I will challenge opinions because I think that's the beauty of football. I did a video 3 weeks ago, way before people were even thinking about this. And I said I'd give Martial a chance. I said, we can't sell him. He's on big wages. I would have a word with Martial and say, give us a year. Let's see what happens. People were like, no, get rid of him. Now Ronaldo's handed this in. Oh, yeah, let's give Martial another chance. So, look, I would give Martial another chance. Why chase after a player? We've done that one from Foldy. Barcelona can afford many players, yet say they might have to sell De Jong. Does he not see this and feel angry? Says Ronaldo. To be fair, Mark, you stuck by Mourinho to appease the community because of previous criticism. You knew he was rotten for as long as I did, says Nick P. I didn't. I actually didn't, Nick. I always and still retain a soft spot for Mourinho. I didn't secretly want Mourinho out. You're probably more right with Solskjaer. Solskjaer, deep down, if I'm honest, I knew it was going to fail. I just hoped it wouldn't. Mourinho, I really wanted him to succeed. I did. And I stayed Mourinho in for a very long time. But no, I didn't fake it with Mourinho. I was wrong. I was wrong. I remember us getting knocked out in the Champions League. Was it by Sevilla or Valencia? One of the two in March. And loads of people said, that's it. Mourinho needs to go. That was March. I didn't go Mourinho. All through the summer, I said, give him a transfer window. It was a bad transfer window, as we know. But, you know, it was that West Ham game in the October where I was just like, no, he's got to go. I think he had McTominay at centre-back or something. Fans can criticise players or question managers' decision. This is not a cult, says Stephen. I think, you know, if you back everything a manager does, I mean, look, the best example of this is, to those people who say it's not backing a manager if you criticise a decision. Okay, at what point do you become a manager out then? If we get beat 6-0 by Liverpool and then 5-0 by Man City and then 4-0 by West Ham and then 3-0 by Brighton and then, you know, we lose another 4 games in a row, well, surely if you back the manager, you've got to keep backing him. It's as stupid as it sounds. Like, I mean, it's Pied Piper mentality. You just backing a manager is just blindly following them. No, that's not how it works. Backing a manager is backing a manager, but also having an opinion, and saying, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with him dropping him, And then when they lose, you go, I was right. Or if they win, you go, fair play. I didn't agree with it, but they got it right. That's what it's all about. It's about being honest. Why aren't we signing a CDM? Is it because it's an unfashionable signing? Cool top, Mark. Keep up the good work. Love from Malaysia, says Edran. And those who say don't agree with Ten Hag were the first to turn on him. I don't trust the likes of Neville a little bit, says Shahin. You know what? In fairness to Gary Neville, right? I didn't agree with the bullying thing. I thought that's ridiculous. To say that it's bullying to not want Harry Maguire as captain is absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. I mean, are you bullying your mate if he goes to the bar and buys you a pint of lager instead of a pint of cider? I don't want it. Oh, you're a bully. I mean, it's just silly. And as I said this morning, Gary's sat there and gone in on Pogba week in, week out, Martial week in, out. He said that Martial's got a bad attitude. Like, is that bullying then? Because that's character assassination. That's not just football. It's not bullying to say a footballer doesn't deserve to be captain of Manchester United because the dressing room was full of leaks and he performed badly and the team performed badly. That's based on evidence. If Harry Maguire was a new signing and he'd never played for United and people were saying he shouldn't be captain, even then you could say, I don't think a new signing should be captain. It's not bullying. But in fairness to Gary, and he almost should get a T-shirt printed of this. I'll back a manager no matter what, which again I think is a bit of a Pied Piper, but it's up to him. I mean, he wanted Moyes to stay. He didn't want Ollie to be sacked, and he's saying again that I'll never say Ten Hag should be sacked. I think that's just virtue signalling offensively. I think that's just stubbornness. I mean, what if we lost 10-0, 10 games in a row, and Gary says we shouldn't sack the manager? I mean, there's always going to be a scenario where you can't deal in absolutes. If you say no matter what, I'll never be Ten Hag out, then that's just stubbornness. Because what if he drops half the team and we lose, like I say, 10 games in a row, 10-0? And what if he, instead of watching the game, he's drinking pints on the sideline and going up and doing the fingers to the fans? Is Gary going to sit there going, I'll stick by the manager? I'll always give you a scenario where he can't stand by that manager. So stubbornly sticking behind a manager no matter what is just ridiculous. But where I do respect Gary is I think a lot of the times where he's stuck by managers is because, quite rightly, he realises the real issue is not the manager, it's the owners or it's the board and things like that. So, look, I will answer the question. Somebody said, what would make you Eric Ten Hag out? I'm really uncomfortable with that. He's never managed a game, and I really want this manager. I'm so excited about the fact that he's an actual coach. I heard somebody say this today, I think it was Man United Analytics on Twitter or something, and they were spot on. They said the fact that Man United fans are analysing Manchester United players doing little training drills that look really good and pretending that we're going to suddenly be prime Barcelona when every other decent club does this for years is so funny. We are looking at those training clips and acting like we're the only club in the world that does them. Liverpool and Man City will have been doing these better drills for a lot longer. But the reason there is a positive around that is because we haven't been doing that. I think if you like these little drills that we do, these little triangles and everything like that, I think Solskjaer's training was more like first cone and back, second cone and back, third cone and back. Fred, jump on the back of McTominay, we're playing piggyback football. I really do think that that's the sort of level of coaching we've had for the last 3 years. And the exciting thing is that we've now got a proper coach. It's not innovative in the sense that loads of top coaches are doing what Ten Hag does, but we just haven't been doing it. So it's really exciting. As for what would make me Eric Ten Hag out, I mean, at this point, I tend to go very late on a manager before I'm Ten Hag out anyway. So most United fans would probably be Ten Hag out before I was, because I really believe in this manager. And you've also got to remember that some of us, in fact, a lot of us, Don says, Mark, do you think Eric Ten Hag can overcome the board, the divas in the locker room, and the ones who don't play for our badge? And can Donny van de Beek play the pivot? Don, in a simple answer, I think that he's got to work miracles, and I hope that he can. Antonio, welcome to the Members Club. And Endiv says, you can back Erik Ten Hag and still disagree with some of his decisions. The two aren't mutually exclusive. And football is not a cult worship. It's okay to have different opinions. Exactly. I couldn't have put it any better. That's why things like fanzines and forums and football Twitter exist. Because you put something out there and someone agrees and someone doesn't, and you have a debate. That's what it's all about. That's what we built this community off. Like, imagine if our first show 7 years ago, I'd gone live and said, Man United have just lost again to Swansea, but you know what? Back the manager, back the Glazers. The players tried their best. Put a smile on your face and enjoy your Sunday. Goodbye. You know, I don't think we'd be sat where we are now. It's football through every club and throughout history is about opinion and debate, and that's why we love it. But what would make me Erik Ten Hag out? I'm not going to duck the question. I think for me personally, because it was him or Poch, and I was fiercely, don't get Poch, get Ten Hag, there probably will be a bit of blind loyalty even if things go bad. Yeah, I would imagine things would have to go really bad for me to be Ten Hag out. Because I think he should get 3 years. Remember, Solskjaer got 3 years. And I gave Solskjaer 3 years, to be fair. So I would hope I would at least give him 3 years. But I don't really want to talk about that because I'm excited. If Ten Hag fails, it'll be because of Man United. It won't be. I don't think it'll be because of him. I think Solskjaer failed because he was a bad coach. I think Mourinho failed because the dressing room had more power than him. I think Van Gaal failed because he just couldn't get to grips with the league. And I think Moyes failed because he just wasn't good enough. I think Ten Hag shouldn't make any of those mistakes. He is a good coach. He's an intelligent coach. And I think he's aware of dressing room issues and not arrogant like Mourinho maybe was. I think Mourinho couldn't believe that he could lose a dressing room. And he did. But I do think if it's to go wrong with Ten Hag, and I don't like talking about this because we need to be positive, but if it will go wrong for Ten Hag, it will go wrong how it's gone wrong in the last month. Where are the signings he wants? Where's the preparation that he needed with those new signings? At the end of the day, he can only hand the list in and say, I want these signings in for pre-season. And if he doesn't get them, the board let's be completely blunt. Manchester United are making his job harder. If he'd have got the signings in and they'd all been there for pre-season tour, then he'd be training them now and we'd be in a better position for the start of the season. Every day he doesn't have his signings, the board are making the job harder for him. And I think that is the perfect explanation that if Ten Hag or any manager was to fail at Manchester United, and this is probably what Gary Neville means, is that it's really not their fault because they're not being given the platform that a Pep gets at City or a Klopp gets at Liverpool or a Tuchel gets at Chelsea. Manchester United and the Glazers, and I've said this many times before, they bring a manager in, then they get a bit of rope and they time their arms behind the back and then say, go and deliver. And then you go, well, where's my signings? Like, how can I make... Why can't I sell that player? Where's my signings? You're making me work with players that clearly aren't good enough. I'm here working with Van Gaal signings and Solskjaer signings and Mourinho signings. Where's my signings? Where's my preparation? Why can't I get rid of these players? So it's a recurring theme. And if we do fail, I think it would be because of that situation there. Arnold and Murtough are in Barcelona, Lee. And, well, look, who's in the 90% club now? In fact, let's do a little poll. They are in Barcelona. Murtough and Arnold. They'll be dumb and dumber if they don't get the deal done. But I think the fact that they are there means this deal will get done now. Do you think we'll sign Jong? Yes or no? Get in the live chat. Let me know and vote there. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're really close to 374,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. You're very welcome on the United Stand community. And don't forget, every morning at 7 a.m. on weekdays, we've got the tour update from Adam, who's out there. He's doing a little show at 7 a.m. for you to wake up to. So make sure you check that one out. I'm just checking if we've got any new breaking news. Frankie might have always been okay to play for Man United, but if he stays that first, then Barca will kick him out with no salary owed. He played it well, says Rahul. Yeah, I think he's got to play it like that. I do. I think he has to play it like that, because if he doesn't, then you know, it's a game of chess with De Jong. That's why I've remained confident. You know, at the weekend, I mean, I wouldn't be stupid enough to wear a T-shirt saying Frankie goes to Manchester, because I think that could really go wrong. But I do think that when people at the weekend were saying that Frankie De Jong adamantly doesn't want to come to Manchester United, and somebody did say that, I can't remember who it was, somebody did say he adamantly doesn't want to come to Manchester United. When somebody was saying that, I was of the opinion that, no, I don't believe this, because this is Eric Ten Hag signing. This is not Man United going to Eric Ten Hag. Remember Frankie De Jong? We can get him for you. This is Eric Ten Hag saying, you know, Frankie De Jong, Barcelona are going to sell him. We should get him. I've spoken to him, and he doesn't want to leave Barcelona, but they want to sell him. And if he leaves Barcelona, he's willing to come to us. That's what's been going on for 2 months. And quite rightly, like somebody just said there, we've got to be signing De Jong, Pogba upgrades as MVPs. Rightly, like somebody just said there, if you're Frankie De Jong and you're owed 17 million euros by Barcelona in back payments through the pandemic, and Barcelona openly want to sell you, what would you do? If I didn't want to leave my job, but I knew I had a new job coming up, but I didn't want to leave this job, but I knew that they owed me 17 million and they were going to sell me, I'd say, I don't want to go. Oh, please go, because we're going to make a load of money out of you. Where's the 17 million you owe me? Well, we can't afford to pay you that. Oh, right, you can't afford to pay me that, but you're buying Rafinha, Lewandowski, Bernardo Silva, Koundé, and you're getting 60 million for me. I don't want to go. Don't worry, Eric, I will go, but I need to get my money out of this. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I love this club. I love Barcelona. I don't want to go. But we need you to go. We need to make this money. I don't want to go. I'm not going. You owe me money as well, by the way. Well, we can't afford the money. Well, I'm not going. Well, you can stay, but you've got to take a pay cut. So my contract says I should get 350 grand a week. You owe me 17 million euros and you want me to take a pay cut. Well, I'm not doing that either. You owe me my money. Give me my money. Well, no, we want to sell you. No, you owe me my money. I'm not taking a pay cut. You owe me my money and I want to stay. And that I basically think that's what Frankie De Jong's done. I think he's got the power and he's playing the game. And I think when they sort out the repayment, he won't take a pay cut, because suddenly he's got his money and Man United are going to pay him 350 grand a week and Barcelona want to sell him. And suddenly it's like, you know what, let's part ways. But I think he's played it very, very intelligently, that he is owed money. Why should he do Barcelona favours? Like, ultimately he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. So why should he leave without the money he's owed a club that he doesn't want to leave? I think he will go, but he wants the compensation for doing it. And effectively what he's saying to Barcelona is, you owe me money, you want me to go, I don't want to go. If you want me to go, you can pay me what you owe me as a little bit of a thank you for going and raising you 60 million quid. You can see where he's coming from, can't you? It might not benefit us, but you can see where he's coming from, the same way you can see where Ajax are coming from when United put in an offer of 50 million euros for Lisandro Martinez and they say, you know what, we want 60 million euros. And United go, oh, and Ajax go, we've sold half our club. We don't want to sell anybody else. If you want him, you can pay for it. And if the tables were reversed, we'd be in the same situation. Any chance Eric Ten Hag got Maguire and Varane's CVs mixed up when they're saying he's been very successful? Would the board see Dybala's 50 million followers and get excited, says Mason Reed? I wouldn't rule out Dybala coming to Manchester United, Mason, but he's not part of the plan. As I said to Fabrizio this afternoon, and it's well worth watching the video after this if you've not seen it. We went through everything from Dumfries, interesting about Tillerman's talks in February as well. Do check it out after this. But as I said to Fabrizio, Cavani was not on our radar at all. And then at the end of the transfer window, we were desperate, so we did the deal. Dybala's not really on our radar. But if it gets to the end of August and Ronaldo has gone and we need a striker, we probably would go for Dybala. I voted the club will sign De Jong because it would be such a huge debacle. I don't know these execs could come back from that embarrassment, says Stephen. I agree with you, Stephen. I think United losing out on this deal would have been embarrassing enough. But, I mean, we've got the video footage now of Murtough and Arnold in Barcelona. I mean, they will never recover from that. How do you recover from being in Barcelona, Richard Arnold and Murtough, and not getting De Jong? They'd have to come up with some lie. No, we'd never been to Barcelona before. We just wanted, we fancied a day trip to Barcelona to look at the new camp. We weren't even there for De Jong. It was Murtough and it was a stag do. It was a stag do, wasn't it, John? Yeah. Whose stag do was it? Billy believes stag do. Yeah, they've got to get it done. Mark, what exactly are United in debt to? How come they're able to pay ridiculous wages if there's so much debt? Oh, loads of businesses carry debt, Luke. I'm sure you're carrying debt if you've got a mortgage. Like, debt is fine as long as you make the repayments. It's just, yeah, we can still, I've got a mortgage for a house. I'm sure some of you've got a mortgage for a house. I can still go down the pub and the cinema. I don't have my mortgage company ringing up and saying, "Don't you bloody well go out, you owe us money." As long as you make the debt repayments, it's fine. Martinez, I think, will play as a CDM. He is like Kimmich if we sign him, by the way, says Yadrif. Look, I don't mind Lisandro Martinez playing as a CDM, but we're buying him as a centre-back. And I know that doesn't make any sense when Ten Hag comes out and says Maguire's my captain, because you think, well, Maguire's starting then. But Varane isn't playing tomorrow. I'm telling you now. Listen up here. I'm telling you now, Mark. Listen up. Marshall's going to have a great season. I tell you now, I'm going to say it again. I said it halfway through last season. I think Rafael Varane has got an underlying issue injury-wise. Either an ankle or a knee would be my prediction. And I think that we missed this on the medical. And I think that Varane is incapable of playing 75% of our games, just like last season. So I think that our starting centre-backs next season will probably be, predominantly, if we get him, Lisandro Martinez as a left-sided centre-back and Harry Maguire as a right-sided centre-back. Because I don't think Varane's going to play much. And I really hope we're wrong, because I think he's the best centre-back we've got, and I think he can be the best centre-back in the league. I really think he's that good. He can compete with the likes of Van Dijk. But I think he's got an injury problem. I do. And I don't think he's going to play as many games as we want him to. I might be completely wrong, but I've watched a lot of football in my life, and the amount of injuries he picks up, I just think he's injury prone now, and that tends to be because you're carrying issues. I know tomorrow's game is a throwaway, but but it is Liverpool and Erik Ten Hag's first game. Do you think we can actually take anything from it, Mark? Says Tom. Aren't we playing for a trophy? What's the name of this trophy we're playing for? No, look, I think it's a big game. I really do. I think it's a big game because it's his first game. I think it's a big game because you can't say don't play properly, play like we do, play like you did under Solskjaer. You can't do that. I think that it will be a big game, and I think that we have to. These players are playing for their futures, so they've got to go out there and impress, haven't they? So. Look, I don't know what Liverpool's team's going to be. I saw Salah was out there. I saw Darwin Núñez was out there. But a Liverpool fan told me they won't play because they won't be ready to play. So, but Liverpool know the Klopp system. On top of that as well, it's called the Century Cup. International Cup, Mark. What people forget about Jong is before choice, centre midfield on cup wages, no way he's staying at Barcelona, says Ray Carl. Mark, what do you think of Pogba taking an 8 million year but want of 20 million from us? I feel mug, glad he's gone, says Juanido. Apparently Arnold and Murtough left Barcelona with something in the sack that weighs 70 kilograms, says Rahul. Yeah, knowing our luck, it'll be Titi. Yeah, they're so crap at football, they probably think Titi or Longley are De Jong, and Barcelona have probably said it is. Imagine that. Here he is. Longley walks out. Give us the 60 million first. We've got the money, thanks. There's Frenkie de Jong. Longley walks out. We walk back. It's called the Century Cup, says Jay. Thank you very much. Yeah, so look, I think that it's really important tomorrow because it's Ten Hag's first game, and style of play is what I'm looking for tomorrow. I mean, I'm doing a watch along, so make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, get involved. Doing a watch along for this, and I'm very excited. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff UK time, but I'm looking forward to it because, and I will be talking a lot as usual, but I'll be talking about defensive lines, the way we're passing the ball, how quick De Gea is off his line, the chances we're creating, the movement, the confidence, these sort of things. It's only game one, so we're not going to reinvent ourselves in one game, but I think the interesting thing is the team, and I don't know how he's going to do the team. People are talking about leaked lineups. I can give you a leaked lineup. It would be De Gea in goal, Dalot, Malacia, Bailly and Lindelof as centre-backs because there is no Maguire, Varane or Twansebi. And then I would imagine it would be Fred and Donny with Sancho, Rashford, Bruno and Martial. But that would mean in the second half it's a very weakened team. So I don't know whether we'll halve and halve it. And you don't know what Liverpool are going to do. But if we halve and halve it, we might get stuffed in the second half if we catch Liverpool on a bad day, because our second half team will be people like, well, I don't know who it would be. It'll be Tom Heaton in goal and Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, the midfield would probably be... I mean, we'd put a half a decent team out, but... And it depends how strong Liverpool are going to be. I don't really think the result matters massively. If we get stuffed, people will over-egg the pudding. If we win, people will say we're going to win the league. But we're nowhere near our best team, and Liverpool are nowhere near their best team. The best... And look, we won't have to wait long. It's literally a month that we play Liverpool at Old Trafford. That'll be a real test. 75,000 fans, hungry for a new United, behind the manager. Hopefully a more intense, energetic Manchester United can give a better account than that shambles of a last autumn where we got stuffed 5-0, or was it 4-0? But it was embarrassing. So that's going to be the real test. But this will be exciting. Have you seen the training video? And if we do win tomorrow, I'll be singing it, and I'm sure you will. Century Cup, you're winners, you'll never win that. You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. Century Cup winners, you'll never sing that. We'll take it. No, we won't. It's not a proper trophy. Can't remember when, was it Spurs or Arsenal used to say they won the Audi Cup in the pre-season and that was classed as a trophy. I don't class the Community Shield as a trophy. I barely class the Carabao Cup as a trophy. So pre-season cups, no. Have you seen the training videos from today, Mark, of Ten Hag screaming at the players? I watched it, Connor. I watched it live. We had a live feed of it. I really enjoyed it. But as I say, it's nothing City aren't doing and Liverpool aren't doing and Bayern aren't doing. I mean, any decent club has been doing training like that for years. The problem is we haven't had any decent training for years. So that's why it is. Mark Allen says embarrassing. Mate, I'm never going to sing that really. I'll sing it tongue-in-cheek. I'm not going to sing Century Cup winners, right? And I'm not going to sit here in a Frankie Goes to Manchester t-shirt when we've not even signed him. I'm not a complete prat. What do you think of the training clips, says Michael? Look, I've read a lot of people saying this. I really have read a lot of people saying this. And I do agree. People are seeing Martial, Rashford and Sancho. It's taken them back 2 years and they're going, just when I was out, I'm getting dragged back in. And I get that. I do get that. I think it's so exciting to see play. I like Rashford, I like Sancho and I like Martial. There is that nostalgia that almost makes you want to forget that Rashford was a joke last year, Martial was a complete flop last year, and Sancho didn't really settle in as we thought. But as a United fan, you're an eternal optimist. That's what we're meant to be. And look, I watch that training and I get excited, but then I do get real. And like I said, somebody said to me today I'd said about Maguire and people had said, oh, way to back your players. That's not being a proper fan or something like that. And I sort of said, I think I even tweeted it at some point. I said, it doesn't make you a proper fan if you back your players. Like, I'm not backing all of these players just because it's a new season and they've had a holiday. I'm not backing all these players because of that. They've got to earn that backing. I'm a Man United fan. You're a Man United fan. We've been supporting this club for years and years. We know what the standards are. I know Fred said it, Rashford said it, McTominay said it, Maguire said it, Bruno said it. They've all said it. It's a new start. It's a new manager. We've got to put the last season behind us and start again. No. I'll start again with Ten Hag and I'll see how you do. But I would not be a Man United fan who holds up the standards I've been taught throughout my life if I just went, last season's acceptable, you all get a clean slate again. There's certain players, there's about 10 of them, who aren't going to get a fresh start. They've got to earn that. They've got to earn that trust. Even if we win the first 3 games of the season and one of them's Liverpool, I'll be encouraged, but I'll still be, I don't trust some of these players yet. They've got to do it week in, week out. Because I tell you what, the Roy Keanes of this world, the Gary Nevilles of this world, the Eric Cantonars of this world, the Wayne Rooneys of this world, the Ryan Giggs of this world, the Robin Van Persies of this world, they did it week in, week out, and that's why we won the Premier League. Because that's how you win a Premier League. You do it 50 games. 50 games out of 60, you're on it. You might be a bit off in 10 of them, but 50 games out of 60, you are on it. This set of players, they're not on it 10 games out of 60. And that's what we're looking for here. So if they want second chances, they're not just getting it because it's a new season and they've had a holiday. They've got to go out and earn it. And that's the mentality I want. I would have loved and respected some of these players to come out, and instead of saying it's a new season, a fresh start, and we've got to put last season behind us, I would have loved some of these players to come out and say, you know, last season's not acceptable. It is a new start under a new manager, but some of us players individually have got a lot of respect to earn back from these fans. We've got to work harder. We've got to play more consistent. And, you know, I respect the fact that we're starting from zero with these fans and we've got to earn that respect. None of them have said that. And that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that, because then it means deep inside of them, they're scared. It means deep inside of them, they know that this is their last chance. But a lot of the messages I'm getting is, oh, it's a new start now. Let's all start again. Last season was someone else's fault. I don't know whether I like Luke Shaw. But look, this is just an example of me. I don't have an agenda against any player. I talk openly about anybody, even my favourites. I like Luke Shaw. He did an interview and he basically said the coaching this season is so much better than last season. And I just thought, you know, really, Luke, you had a bad season last year. Individually, you had a bad season. I don't like the fact that you're basically saying that the coaching's better than last season, because that's just sort of using last season's coaching as an excuse. Solskjaer was a bad coach. Rangnick never ever got listened to. But as an individual, I've played football. I'm sure many of you have. I've had bad coaches and I've still been man of the match. I've had bad coaches and I've still scored goals and I've still had a good game. Because as an individual, I had a standard that I played to and I played to 100%. And that's where the players let themselves down last year. I'm sure the coaching wasn't great, but their performances were beyond bad coaching. Like, some of them down tools. Some of them were ridiculously bad. So I don't like what I hear from some of the players, because it's just like, oh, last season, we've got to move on from it. But you contributed to it. You need to own it, and you need to acknowledge it, and you need to promise it won't happen again, and you need to be scared of it happening again, because otherwise, what motivates you? If you're just getting a clean sheet, does that not promote the mentality that, well, if this season goes bad, I'll just say the same again next summer? Oh, it was bad last year, but it's a new start now. That's not what United's all about. I remember, it might have been Gary Neville or Beckham or someone like that saying, I remember the season when we finished second and Sir Alex Ferguson was furious, and so was the dressing room, because second place is nowhere. And it motivated us all summer and all through the next season. That last season where, and this is what United used to be. We'd finished second. Like that season we lost when Aguero scored. All through the summer and all through the next season, that was all that was on their mind. So the previous season should never be just written off. It's a new start. United, if they didn't win the league, all through the summer, it destroyed their summer. And all through next season, after every game from game 1 to game 10 to game 20, they'd still remember why they didn't win the league last year and use it as a motivator. That's what winning mentality is. Liverpool did it. What about that year when Liverpool and Man City won their last 20 games? And I think Liverpool missed out by 1 point. It floored them. And the next season, they used it as the motivator to just pull away and take the title. So you've got to use disappointment as a motivator. And I hope, although we've not heard it, I hope some of those United players haven't just put last season behind them and actually are ashamed by it and want to put it right. Because where's the motivation if it's just like, last season, let's forget about it, it's a new start now? That might work for some of them, but I think you need to acknowledge last season. You need to acknowledge the failings, the disappointment, how you let the club and the fans down, and you need to use that as a motivator to make sure it doesn't happen again. England 6-0 at half-time, says Ronald, poor old Norway. Thank you very much for that. On the vote, this is interesting. Do you think we'll sign De Jong? Yes, 65%, and no, 35%. So I think a lot of you are low because I'm very high now. How can there be expectations for fans to back a group of players who did not back the fans when they're down tools, says Stephen Rossi. Well, look, as I say, Ajax are willing to talk to Manchester United about Lisandro Martinez, but they want 55 to 60 million euros, says Mike Verway. Well, that's nothing new. That's nothing new, is it? We knew that this morning, and that they've increased the price. I mean, look, can I just do a little bit of quick maths here? So, 55 million euros in pounds is 46 million. 46 million they want now. 60 million euros is 50 million. I mean, I like the look of Lisandro Martinez, but he ain't a 46 million pound player, and he's not a 50 million pound player either. We are being bent over backwards there. So, I think the funny thing is, what if Arsenal bid it? Think about that. Ajax are willing to talk to Manchester United about a possible transfer of Lisandro Martinez, but the club want 55 to 60 million euro. I tell you what, I think Antony's going to be a very difficult deal to do. I know he wants to come to United. I know Eric Ten Hag wants him. But if they want 55, 60 million euro for Lisandro Martinez, God knows what they're going to want for Antony. It's a lot of minutes. A lot of money. How can they be unexpected? Yeah, I've done that from Stephen Rossi as well. I find it funny because I won't check Twitter because a bunch of twats in the chat are telling me to check Twitter because that's not even an update. And what I was talking about standards of the players is far more important than some irrelevant update on Twitter that we spoke about this morning. Maybe tune into the shows on time and you'll get these stories already. Like, it was literally a story this morning that Ajax wants 60 million euros for Lisandro Martinez. It's just been it's slow sports news. Like, we've spoken about it already. It's just regurgitation of the same story. Ajax aren't a disgrace by putting the prices up. United are arrogant. No, Lee, I don't actually have an issue with what Ajax are doing. I know some of you do. I don't, because that's what happens when you're late. When you're late on a deal, you miss out on a deal. Simple as that. The price goes up. I mean, I've used this analogy before, but when do you do your Christmas shopping? You wait till Christmas Eve to do it. The stock might be low and the price might be high. That's exactly what's happening. Ajax were willing to sell players a month ago. They've now sold the players they want to sell. They don't want to sell anybody else. So if you want to get them, you can pay more than they're worth. Supply and demand. That's all it is. We should have been shopping in Ajax in early June. And now we're doing it in mid-July when they're on pre-season. I don't like it, but if Chelsea or Bayern Munich want Ronaldo now, are we going to go, yeah, take him for 5 million? We're going to go 15 because it's an inconvenience. You can't have one rule for you and one rule for the other. And I think that is effectively what people are trying to say. Extra long show, but it is an extra long show. Sorry, I didn't mean it to be an extra long show. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. I know why we're getting people upset, because I'm taking you away from Love Island, aren't I? Okay, go and watch Love Island then. Look, thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget, 7 o'clock tomorrow, we will have an update from the tour. Adam's out there. We've got a watch along tomorrow as well. Really looking forward to that. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you all very soon. It's getting very hot as well. It's a very hot evening, and I need to take this t-shirt off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Really enjoyed it. And look, I'd love to say Frankie de Jong will be signing for Man United in the next 48 hours, but that would be bullshit, and we don't do that on here. I think we will sign him, but how long's a piece of string? Could be tomorrow, could be next month, who knows? Speak to you in a bit. Take care, stay safe, and have a good evening.